everybody, it's Joey. I'm here in Lincoln, Nebraska in my stamp studio coming to you live today. And I have a couple of really fun card layouts for you today. They're a little bit unique. Actually, these are two of my friend Allie's designs for our Brushed with Beauty craft along. Had to think for a minute. It's been hectic, and I just came in from the very, very cold and windy outdoors with our dog Teddy. I was ready to go live and ready to click go live, and he started fussing. So we had to make a quick trip outside. So I'm glad you're here with me today, whether you're watching live or on replay. I hope that you'll enjoy what I have to show you today. If you do, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up and the hearts. They're always really encouraging to me, and I'd love for you especially to comment, let me know where you're from. Chit chat with me. That's the reason I go live. I never or rarely do pre-recorded videos. So I'm here for you. I'm here to answer your questions, to connect with other people who like to be creative and enjoy stamping. So I hope that you will say hello. Now, I see that I have several people watching. This is the third day of our craft along, and I'm going to just check the comments to froze. Doggone it. Hi, Liz. You're here today. You're having a blizzard. Oh, Liz is in Minnesota, and they're having a blizzard. Julie is here, too, and she has a home in Minnesota, but she is blessed to have another home in Arizona, so she's missing the snow. Hi, Jackie. Jackie's here. Good. Okay, so I'm seeing one Facebook and two YouTube watchers, so I'm glad I'm good in both places. All righty, so happy you're here with me. Let's click down to my desktop and we'll get going. Oops, somebody else just jumped on there for a moment. Let me grab Alexina. Hi, I'm so happy you made it today. All right, friends, I put these down first just so I wouldn't forget to tell you. This, every week I send, almost every week, rarely do I miss, but I send a free tutorial PDF to my newsletter subscribers as a thank you for subscribing. They just get it every Sunday. So if you're interested in getting free tutorials and you're not on my newsletter list, there is a link on YouTube. Whoops, YouTube, there we go, below. If you click that little caret or where it says more, you'll see that there's a link to subscribe to my newsletter. If you're on Facebook, there won't be a link right now. I'll put it in the comments later. Facebook isn't letting us use links. But I'll send this card out this week. This is a wintry version of the Brush with Beauty cards that we're making today. So I thought it was a good week to send this tutorial free. I did pair it up with the branching out dies in case you're saying, well, I don't see those frame dies or these little berry dies in the Brush with Beauty. They're not. They are they're in the branching out dies. And this is just an easy little fun fold just to give it a little bit of variety. I used the winter snowflakes, Regal Snowflakes, I think, Designer Series paper here. So even though Brush with Beauty does not use any of those colors, I thought it might be fun to see that you can use this anytime. So this is a tutorial. I don't know if I said project sheet, but a tutorial, the difference between a tutorial and a project sheet is the tutorial has detailed instructions, which I have on this because I just thought you needed it. There's a lot going on this card. I did some shading with a sponge dauber, so I just thought you really needed the instructions, not just the dimensions. But the dimensions are here, the detailed instructions, 2 photos you can see well, a list of supplies. I also gave today's video links in this PDF. Now I did get this uploaded to my Beacons page, which is my online store for my PDFs this morning. It's free. And as I said, if you're on my newsletter, you're going to be getting it Sunday anyway. But there is a link under the YouTube video for you to download this today so you can get it. Right now, it's there and it's free, so I invite you to take advantage of that and go and get that one. Okay, that's that. Now today is our third day of our Brush with Beauty craft along. My friend Allie Gomez and I joined together to design 10 cards for you, 8 of which we've been making this week live for live video. To have those. If you're interested in getting just the PDF for these, there's dimensions, there are instructions, there are lists of supplies for the 8 projects that we're doing today, plus 2 bonus cards. So the 2, well, I'll show you those in a minute. Anyway, if you want the PDF, that is available for purchase in my online store as well. But you can get it for free as a thank you for a $50 order in my online store. That's also linked on the YouTube description, so you can find the link to my store. You can find the link to just purchase this on its own. You can also find a link. I have a couple of these kits left. So this is a craft along, which means that people were able to pre-order. I see that my camera's kind of freezing a bit. We're just going to take a deep breath and hope it doesn't keep freezing. But this is what went out to people that pre-ordered the kit, and I still have a few of these. If you're interested, that link is also below. It's all 8 cards. They're in the order. All the supplies are packaged up in the order of the PDF tutorial. You get a half a pack of the Brush with Beauty Designer Series paper. You get a full pack of the Pearls of Beauty gems, and you also get a full pack of the Baker's Essentials twine. So that's what comes in that kit. If you'd like to get the whole kit, just make sure you go ahead and order it now, because it'll be gone on Sunday. The other thing I have for you, so if you put in a $50 order for me on my online store, you get this PDF. If you do a $75 order, you also get the card supply kits. So just the kits, not the extra PDF, the gems, or the twine, but you do get all the card kits and plus the PDF. So that's as a thank you for your $75 order. That only goes through Sunday, which I think is December 21st. So if you want those, just make sure you get your order in. Now, one more little piece of housekeeping. The Brush with Beauty stamps and dies. The stamps, well, where is everything here? The stamps and dies, there's 2, it's a mega suite, meaning there's actually 2 sets of stamps, and so one has all the images and then all the dies for those images, plus a few extra fun detail dies, and then the words. So this one are the sentiments that we use, and then there are dies to cut out the sentiments. And these dies are shadow dies. So there's 1, 2, 3 word dies that you can use for shadows. And I'll show you all the cards in just a minute. Then there's some label dies, and that's what comes with these 2 bundles. And you can buy one or both, but if it suits your needs, you might have some other stamps and dies that you could pair with those. But what I wanted to tell you is they're part of a group of online exclusives, meaning they're not in a printed catalog. But you can find this PDF. I'm pretty sure I also linked this. If I didn't, I'll double check that after the live today. This is a PDF that Stampin' Up! Makes available to us that does list all the things that they release. These are the November releases. This and our suite that we're using today, again, is called the Brush with Beauty Suite Collection, and we're using most everything on this page today. And we did use most everything on that in this suite for our craft along projects today. Okay, that's that. Let me show you the cards we've made so far. I have them piled up here, but they kind of fell over in the pile, so let's see. I'm gonna grab them. Sorry about that. I had them all ready to go, and they fell over. So these first 2 are the bonus cards. So you get these in the PDF tutorial as just bonus cards, these 2. This is Allie's fun fold that we did. She did for her extra bonus card and how to make today or through the past 3 days. If you missed Day 1 and Day 2. They're up on my YouTube channel. This is a easel card. And so you can find them there. Again, later today, I'll link those in the video description. So if you're watching replay, they're probably already there. This is a very fancy fun fold we made yesterday. This one. And actually, as I was going through some cards this morning, I found another one that I'd made like this. A different bundle, different paper, but same idea. We talked yesterday about using up our designer series paper. So that card was one of those. This card is another one for help using up your designer paper. It's a fun fold, easy fun fold. And then this one uses 2x4 strips of designer series paper with a very easy layout. And that could be a quick and easy card that we did yesterday. Oh gosh, you guys, I see I'm freezing. Oh, I'm plugged right into our internet, so it shouldn't be doing that, but we're just going to pray it doesn't cause a problem. It's very windy here today. I don't think that really interferes with the internet, but who knows. Today we're going to make the last two of Allie's cards. That's her bonus card, this one. Now, I haven't actually made this. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Kathy from Illinois. This is Allie's card that we're going to make today. I have all the parts, but I didn't have a chance to make this sample. So we're going to follow her instructions for the most part and go right along and make this card. So grab your coffee. I've got mine here. It's a Stampin' Up! Cup. Can't really see it very well, but you can see I've got it. And we're going to enjoy our time together and crafting together. Okay, here we go. Now, let's go through here. This is our piece of mossy meadow. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and crease that, just so it lays down a little bit better. And then I don't know if I'll follow her instructions. I'll try to, actually they're my instructions. I didn't have her instructions. She was moving from the U.S. to Canada, from Texas to Canada. And I just made up instructions from her photo. She just did not. She was buried in a new job and getting her children enrolled in school there and just a lot of stuff. So I wrote these. I had her check them though before I actually finished the DSP. So if you're thinking, well, maybe that's not the way Allie would have made it, it was fine. She said it was fine. 3.5 by, I think, 5. Yep, 3.5 by 5 for that piece of DSP. And then we're going to put another one, the floral one, right on top of it. One of the floral ones. There's multiples. I think these go up like this. This one is 2 3/4 or 2.5. 2.5 by 5. So they're both 5. One's just more narrow than the other, and it's actually the same piece of DSP. So we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to center this a little bit here, centering from the top to the bottom, and try and line it up very straight here. I'm going to match it. I'm matching it up with the very edge of the card. So I'm kind of feeling for where that is. And so there we have that. Now, let's see. I'm not even going to follow my own instructions. This piece is 2 by 4 1/4. And this is embossed with the beautiful pattern embossing folder, which is also part of the suite. And then we put it on a panel that's just 1/8 inch bigger, but the same height. So this is 2 1/8 by, well, it should have been 2 1/8 by 4 1/4. I obviously cut it 2 1/4, and we're going to trim that up. So it looks like Allie's card, and it looks like the picture. Or did she put 2 1/4? I better check that. Hold on. She did say it's 2 1/4. Never mind. I thought the photo actually looked like 2 1/8, but we're going to go with Allie's instructions. So let's just do it like that. That makes it easy. 8s are a little bit trickier. than quarters. Quarters are just easy to cut and line up. So I'm just going to put this down the middle of this, and then let's go ahead and we're going to put this about maybe an inch from the edge, kind of like that. Allie's cards have a lot of texture, both with, what am I trying to say, multiple patterns of DSP. She's really, really good at it, and adds so much interest the way she does it. So I always like to get her tutorials. Okay, let's go like that, and that's what we have so far. Now, let's go ahead and we'll do some stamping. In your kits, okay, all right, sorry, I need to backtrack. Those of you who bought the kit, we cut yours like Allie did it. And as I said, I didn't have her instructions, so I went on my own. So I'm just going to explain that to you in case you're watching this while you're making your kit. Or any of you that buy the tutorial. She did these as two separate pieces. So the DSP, which I have here, is 2 by 2. So that's here. But instead of doing a whole sheet of vanilla, she did a partial piece of vanilla, which I did. That's the way I cut it for your packets. So just know that. I mean, it's those of you that are card makers, you realize that how that would go. But I followed her instructions for cutting the kits because by then, the dimensions, I didn't actually ever have the measurements. So, or I mean the instructions. So anyway, this has just been one of those times where it's just been a little hard, let alone having the holidays in the middle of all this. But we didn't want to not do our craft along together this month. So we are just making it work. I'm going to stamp the outline of the flower in Calypso Coral. This is a smaller flower. There are two flowers in this set. One's a little bit larger. I think this is the outline. Yeah, it is. Okay. And then, we want to go ahead and do the center of this. I do have gifts coming that haven't arrived yet, but they're on their way. And as I shared yesterday, your crafting teacher, does not have her Christmas cards out. They're done, but they are not addressed. And I do like to take some time with my cards. I almost always write in them. So that, is sort of a process too. So there you have the flower. I don't know exactly if Allie used Calypso Coral, but we're going to go with it because that's what I put in the instructions. And she didn't correct me, so hopefully she thought, well, if she didn't use Calypso Coral, that it was still going to work for this. Let's go ahead and die cut this little sweet flower. And let me grab my die cutting machine, and then we'll get it all lined up here. I need to so let's grab a smaller one. And I've already die cut that little vine that you might see in the picture. Let's go ahead and get this down. Back to Christmas. My husband, we have a couple of great nieces and great nephews that we buy for still. And Steve has, I think, got those little ones taken care of. And I'm just midway through my gifts. We buy gifts for my side, my niece and nephew on my side of the family, and those are some of the things that are ordered, but they aren't here yet. But I just feel like it's just been chaotic. I got sick in October. Was it October, I think? I got COVID, and I was down for about 10 days. And then the fatigue lasted and lasted. And I just felt like I got behind then and never have really caught up. Do you ever feel like that? If you get behind, everything just snowballs. Although, I'm not actually really behind, but well, I am with Christmas, that part for sure. Let's get all the rest of our bits out. But it's okay. As I told my helper was here this morning helping me pack my last class that has to be sent out. I said, you know what? The world isn't ending, so it's all going to be fine. I'll get it done. Let's go ahead and now Allie has on her card, you're a great friend, and either one of those will work. I need birthday cards. As I mentioned yesterday, I start thinking about replenishing my birthday cards at the end of December and in the first part of the year. So I am not making a friend card, but you can use either greeting on this little strip. It'll work fine. And then we're just going to, let's see, how'd she do this? I think I'm going to give a little bit of space there to put the flower on top of it. And then we will trim that edge just a touch. And I know I'm asking you questions and asking you to clean cards, and not a big break, but I'll just take a pause to, oops, I didn't get all the early espresso ink off, and we want to make sure that's all the way off. Yeah, because, ink has a life of its own once it gets on your glass blocks. Okay, so, but what I'm back to saying, I always come back and check your comments. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut this close to this side. And then I'm just going to make a little flag here by just cutting halfway from this side, in the middle of this side, and I'm just going to match that up over here, going from the corner to the slit that I already cut. Well, that's pretty good. Actually, it looks fairly even, which usually it doesn't when I do that. We do have punches that will punch a flag in the end, for you. So, but I didn't use that for this, and I don't know if she did. So I'm just doing it this way. All right, let's grab the card back. Let's go ahead and put the DSP down at the bottom of this. And isn't that cute? Now, I would never think of doing my DSP like this, but I think it's such a cute template and layout. And I just really like this. I have used this template already. She doesn't know that, I don't think, but I've used it already in another class because I thought it was so cute. All right, let's do this down here first. She's got this up here, it looks like. Let's put the dimensionals on this. I don't know about you, but I'm often looking for new card templates. I do know at least one card maker that sits down. Actually, I know a couple that they sit down and will just sketch out card templates like in a notebook. That just isn't me. I just don't think about that. I just don't. It's not something I enjoy. I'd rather just see something I like, and then I'm going to put this, I don't know if this is how she had it, but I'm going to put this right here on this card like so. Let's do that first. We don't have the center in the flower. And as I mentioned yesterday, I really like this flower center stamp. It's really, really pretty. Well, I don't know what it is about it actually, but it adds so much to the flower. See? Doesn't that look so much more realistic? I just really like it. It's just one of those stamps I said yesterday, they're just a stamp once in a while in a stamp set that you just go, oh, I really love that stamp. And every time you stamp with it, you feel good about it. Is anybody else like that? Okay, let's go ahead and get this. And then what did I do with my vine, my leafy vine? Oh, for heaven's sakes, this is, oh, that's right here. Good heavens. All right, now she has hers, just those three. She just has these three little branches on the end show. But I think I might change this up. I think I kind of like it with the vine. Maybe it muddies up the paper here. We'll do it her way. So I'm going to cut the bottom part of this off. Depending on your paper, though, and if you're using this card design, you could, I think, put the whole branch down there. But let's see what we've got here. She's got this, so it's only those top three. So let's do a little more surgery here. I'll cut it way down here. And I got quite a few pictures and messages from Allie last week. She sent me pictures of her children's school and the view from their house in Canada. And things are finally settling down for her. Bless her heart. It was a rough move. You know, I'm looking at this and I'm pretty sure she used petal pink. So I put Calypso Coral, but you guys know you can switch it up any way that you want to. But not having made this card yet, I would have realized it if I'd had a chance to make it. But we're going to go with Calypso Coral. We have Calypso Coral in our mat here, so it'll go. But I kind of like Allie's lighter color better. I thought this was actually going to look a little bit lighter, but we'll go with it for today, just to not have to restamp it. Let's go. Let's see. She's kind of got this. How does her flower go? She's got this going this way. So we'll go her way. And I'm going to kind of just dry fit this a moment. And now dimensionals. And I think our dimensionals will go like on the outside. Yeah, this side of the flower. Just to keep it from overlapping the dimensionals that are on our tag right there. So let's go like this. Anyway, I'm just so glad she settled in. The children are in school. And she got help with her job. She was doing 2 jobs. One person was doing 2 jobs, and that was her. Let's see. I don't know if I like this. I think we need a dimensional down here. But moving is the worst. I know one of you watching has moved fairly recently as well. So I know it's so much to move. Just so much in every way. Now these guys, you know, as I said, I haven't made this card before, so you'll want to do this part before you have the leaf down. But I'm kind of rolling up. You can, so you don't see it, but I want this leaf to be not completely free here. So this is kind of putsy. But I just don't think we want this leaf to be, it will get bent. You know, it'll get bent. If I don't put it in the envelope right now, it'll for sure get bent. And I don't know who it's going to go to yet because it's a birthday card and all my cards for December are already out, my birthday cards. Let's go. Well, I don't want it to really show. You know what? No. Okay, I know I'm putzing with this. Let's just put a teeny tiny, I just don't want it to show. A teeny, we're gonna bend this up just a touch and just inch in just a very tiny bit of glue. Okay? Now I don't want the whole thing to be really glued down, or I would have put it on a self-adhesive sheet, but there we go. And then we've got, that's such a cute card. Let's go ahead and put some twine on this. I'm going to use very vanilla on this one. I think that's what she used. It looks like it. So let's do this guy. And there we go. It's gonna maybe a little tiny bit bigger. There we go. Let's take a scissors and get that trimmed up a bit. There we go. And now the way I do twine, if you've watched me, you've seen me do this many, many times. I put it right on the mini glue dot. I put it right on it like that. And then down here next to the flower petal. Maybe scrunch it in just a touch. Now we definitely need gems. We can't not have gems on this guy. So, and now we've already got a birthday card for the new year, which I'm happy about. In fact, yesterday, as I said, I was sorting through some cards and I separated out all the birthday cards. And I'm going to put those in one place so I can find them. It looks like she is actually mostly small ones, although we could do whatever we want. But let's do Allie's card, Allie's way. So let's go up there with one. And then she's got another one like over here. Cute. We always, I should say we, but a lot of us tend to put our gems in a triangle shape. All right, I don't want to go too long today because, just because, who has time to sit down and watch a long video during Christmas season? Okay, now let's go ahead and do, I didn't cut this, or I didn't plan for this ahead of time, but we need a inside for this card, so let's cut that really quick. So when it's a dark cardstock, I don't always do this. If it's a light cardstock, I don't do this, but if it's dark like this, I always put an inside. Whoops, I'm going to cut this at 4. That's right. All we need is something to write on the inside. So let's go ahead and see if this looks okay. Well, it is kind of short. So what I'm going to do actually is make it a little bit more narrow. So it looks like I need to go to 3 3/4. So let's bring the trimmer back. Let's go to 3 3/4 is right here. And then it'll be a little bit more symmetrical. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Perfect. Okay. Happy birthday. Or it's your birthday. And then, just for fun, should have done this before I put this down, but let's do one more little flower. Since we're not doing a whole lot of stamping today, let's do a little more. That's the most fun part. So I'm going to grab my piercing mat, because I just think I probably should. Just in case. Okay, let's do this guy. Here's the outline. Always decorate the inside. I say that, and do I always do it? If I'm in a hurry and it's not done already, possibly not. But if I'm making the card and I have time, I just go ahead and do something pretty on the inside. Because usually on Hallmark, you don't get something pretty on the inside. Now let's grab our early espresso and do our little flower center. That's so pretty. And let's get this stamped. Now this 2-step stamping for this stamp set is not, it doesn't have to be lined up exactly perfectly. It does line up, but if you don't get it exactly right, like I didn't get it exactly right on this one, I did pretty good on this one, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Especially if you make your fill-in flower a lighter color. It's not going to really show very much anyway, even if it's off a little bit. So don't let that spoil your stamping or be anything that upsets you. And I say that as a recovering perfectionist. So if you've watched me very much, you're like, well, Joey, you always fix things. I do a lot of times, but not always. Okay, so there we go with that one. And now we're going to make our last card. Guys, can you believe it? It's our last card for our um, Brush with Beauty craft on. I said I would check your comments to make sure I'm acknowledging you between cards. So let me do that. Before I do our last one, let me come up here and say hello. Liz, yay, hi Liz. Let's see, I missed a lot. Gosh, okay. Here we go. Liz, it was so nice of you to help her out. She sounds like it's crazy. It was such a hard move, Liz. I can't even tell you everything that happened to her. On top of it, she had a bad fall. And, it was a tornado of just bad things. Okay, how is Stampin' Up! Business going? Yeah, I don't know. Liz is asking, how is her Stampin' Up! Business going to change going countries? I don't know the answer to that. She and I have not really had a chance to visit about that part. I do know that she's going to ship from the U.S., so I think that she's not too far from the border, so she's going to ship her card kits in the U.S., so she'll be going back and forth. Oh, so what Liz is saying is she really loves the vanilla white space on this. This did turn out so cute. So I agree. I told Allie I thought it was such a cute card. Okay, think I'm kind of caught up on the comments. Let's keep going. Liz says that's why she hasn't moved in 40 years because moving is so hard. Uh, there's something to be said for that, friends. We did move about 4.5 years ago. We built a new home to make a stamp to have. What am I doing here? There's two of these panels, and I only need one. This goes on the inside, I think. We moved. My business before COVID was all in person, and I had two groups of people twice a day on the days I had card class. In my kitchen and my dining room, I often had 8 at each table. And, we were dragging up all the stuff for the card class from the basement where my stamp room was to the kitchen and dining room. It was a lot. So my husband said, you'll probably keep doing this a while. Maybe we should build a home that accommodates this in one space, which is our basement. So we did move. Anyway, long story longer, it was not good. We'd been there over 20 years. Like, I don't know. We need all these bits here. Let me just get them out. I'm just going to say it was a lot. I tossed, I threw out, I sorted, I gave away, I sold so many things. We had 2 big storerooms, and if you have a storerooms, it's so nice, except that then you store stuff, right? Am I right? This piece of DSP is 3 3/4 by 5, and the mat is 1/8 inch bigger. So the mat is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. That's a very thin mat. That's kind of Allie's saying this is her card design. This is, I think, 2 by 4. I should have probably measured this. Yes, 2 by 4. And then this little early espresso piece is just going to peek out back here. I did get this one made. And this is like 3/4 by 4. I don't even know if that's what Allie has here. I think it is. I think I took it. I was thinking, did I do this the way she did it? I think I did. All right, let's go ahead and yes, Liz, she was very, very grateful. And I'm glad I was able to do it. It was It was a very hard time for her, but she said everything's going much better, much better. She has help at work. You know, they're finally settled in. It's going to be a temporary house for now. But anyway, it's all better. She's happier. Okay, let's go ahead and... So this is kind of a cute, isn't this a cute template too? I feel like today the moral of the story is these are cute but easy templates. They're a little bit different than you might normally see. They're different for me. I don't pull out a card kit and go, oh, you know, I don't think of things like this. For the most part, I would have had to look online. Right now I'm looking for glue. I'm going to find my... Okay, I can't talk and look at the same time. I have to look for templates online. I don't, as I said, I don't sit down and sketch out a card. I've never done that. I need to go by some kind of idea. Usually I look at Stampin' Up! Samples first, and then I try to stay away from Pinterest, to be honest, when I'm trying to find a card sketch, because Pinterest is a deep hole. Can be, unless you're really disciplined about it. This is the leaf die, that beautiful leaf die that I've cut out of vellum. And I'm just going to place this. We're going to put our words down here. So I'm going to kind of put this maybe a little bit more towards the top of this panel, because we want room for our greeting to be down here. Now, I did die cut this first shadow size. The tiniest one would have been like, would look like this. This one I die cut, but when I got Allie's instructions, I realized that she stamped it. So I did die cut it ahead of time, again, just to kind of save a little time. I'm going to get out my early espresso ink, and we're going to ink this up. Let me get this, I've got to get stuff out of my way. Do you ever end up stamping in like just a 4x4 square because you've got everything in the way? Well, that's the story of my life. I'm always doing that. Okay, we're going to make sure this is inked really well, because stamping on stamping on colored cardstock instead of basic white or basic vanilla is, you have to make sure you have a lot of ink to get a really good image. And actually my ink pad needs to be re-inked, I think. Now I'm just going to see if I can line this up. There we go. And I'm going to hold it down just a tad longer than I normally would for white or vanilla, because to give that ink plenty of time to absorb into the craft, or not craft, we just call this craft, crumb cake cardstock. So there we have because. And again, as I said, you could die cut it to look like this, but this saves a step if you don't want to do all that putsy die cutting, which, and I know some of you that watch, the putzier, the better you like it. So this card would be for you. Not this whole card, because this card is pretty simple for everybody, but that die cutting those teeny words, and then getting them down on another die cut, that can be a little bit putsy. Let's go ahead and get the rest of this together. We need this greeting down here, so maybe we should go ahead and die cut this. This is one of the dies in the word set, the Words of Beauty word set. And again, I think Allie did again. You're a great friend, because I copied her card exactly, but I'm gonna do birthday just because I need birthday. But that's one nice thing about this set. There's so many versatile greetings in it. And that is what happens when you have a whole set of images and then a whole set of greetings. You just have almost always many more choices for both your flowers and leaves, etc., and then your sentiments. Just because you've got a whole set divided or dedicated to greetings and a whole set dedicated to images. Okay, there we go. This stamp's really, really clean and pretty. Can you see how well that stamps? That's another stamp where I just go, oh, every time I stamp it. Let's get this going here, and we are going to have our 8 cards done for our 3 days of our Brush with Beauty craft along. I'm going to go ahead and get some dimensionals on here, because I think we'll put the greeting down first, or no, this label down first before the die cut greeting, just for placement, just for putting it in the right place and for balance. I shouldn't say right place. There's no wrong place, friends. Don't get into design freezer mode because you think, where's the best place, or where I don't want to mess this up. You cannot mess it up. It's your handmade card. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're going to get mini dimensionals out for this. Mini dimensionals are a good investment. If you don't have the resources to have 2 sets of dimensionals, then by all means get the bigger ones and just cut them. But if you have an extra several dollars, and maybe you're trying to get your order up to $75, because with the $75 order, you also get the Stampin' Up! Product of the month, which, if I have time next week, I'll knock out at least 1 card with that and go live, even though I know Wednesday is. Isn't Wednesday Christmas Eve already? I think it is. I'll have to double check that. I don't even know. That's the sad part. All right, let's keep going here. So let's get this guy kind of tucked over the word, maybe just a bit. Right at the bottom of the vellum. Right at the bottom of the vellum. I know the vellum's really hard to see, but it has such a pretty texture. And you already know, if you've watched me at all, that I am a big fan of vellum. All right, we're going to do this again with Very Vanilla. And if you are watching and you're enjoying the video, I just would remind you to give me a thumbs up or a heart, and also a comment. First of all, I like to hear from you. And second of all, it does help my channel, and I am trying to grow my business online. I've only been online since COVID, so that's a late start to people that have online businesses, because online takes a lot longer to build than in person. Because obviously in person, you actually get to know the person, and you know that they're trustworthy, and you like them. I'm trying to find where this mini glue dot is. There we go. Get rid of all of that. Anyway, it's longer for people to get to know you online. But I have to say, since I've been online, especially the people that started with me during COVID, they've become really good friends. I know it doesn't seem like it's possible, but it is possible. I have one very dear friend, actually more than one very dear friend that met me online, and I consider them good friends. All right, now let's go ahead and put some gems on this one. We haven't really used these white ones very much, but Allie had them on her card, and we're going to use them on ours as well today. So let me grab the white ones. And these white pearls, I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can. They're very iridescent. They're very, very pretty. I really like them. I'll put a couple up here. I know they're not going to show up very well on the camera. They're very subtle. You can't even see them hardly on the camera. There you go. See those? In person, when you look at them, obviously, they have all the dimension and all the depth of the pearl part of it. There we go, my dear friends. All right. Of these 2 today, which of these 2 is your favorite? Number 1 or number 2? So I'm going to call those 1 and 2 for today, but I am going to get out all of our cards that we have made over the days. So I'm going to try to just get them out here, and then I will, this was yesterday, this is the first day, all 8 of these cards. And as I said, the PDF has instructions, very detailed instructions for all of these. And let's get this one out of here too. These are all the 8 cards we have made for our craft along with Allie and Joey. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. They're all there. I guess I'm not in the screen very well. Let's move these over just a touch. I can see them. Okay. Are you writing your favorites for these 2? Which of these 2? This would be 1 for today, and this would be 2. You can't really put the birthday one's my favorite because I made them both birthday. So I would love to see which is your favorite. This one, I think this one, it's not too feminine to give. Cole, bless your heart. Thank you. You're getting this kit. So I'm happy you like the cards. This week videos have been very enjoyable. Thank you, Jackie. I love getting more template ideas. Thank you, Jackie, so much. And Liz, love the Lost Lagoon and Coral. This is Liz. Liz's, right, Liz, you're talking this one. You know, this was so many people's favorite over those 2 days. We're not talking about these today, and this is definitely more a me card, and it doesn't even have DSP. I did put DSP on the inside, but obviously the outside. But those are Stampin' Up's color combinations because I said they list Lost Lagoon in the paper. Okay, Jackie's choice today is number 1. And let's go. Yeah, Liz is just saying, let's see if it, at least we made it through. We got through all week. We didn't have any major technical issues. Lots of glare here. And many of you joined me every day this week. But if you didn't, if you missed the other videos, I will link them below right after I get off of the live. They're not linked there yet, but they will be. So I'll go through every day's videos and I'll list the other 2 days. So if you are looking for the other 2 days, you happened onto one of these, just check the more in the description below on YouTube and you'll find them there. So again, thanks so much. And if you're watching on Facebook, I would love for you to follow my page and like my page, and then you won't miss anything I share there. I am going to share a lot of these cards on my page over the next few days, and a lot of other cards I've made with the Brush with Beauty bundle because it's our featured product for the week. So I want to make sure I can share as much as I can. Oh, thank you for the hearts and the thumbs up that are coming up. I sure appreciate it. All right. Hope you got some good ideas this week or even just today. Hope you got a good idea for the templates we made today. You can make those with any stamps and any designer series paper that you have. And actually any of these. So I hope it was helpful. That's what I'm here for. If I'm not being helpful, I don't think I'm doing a very good job. So hopefully you got some ideas, either like card layouts or color combinations or ideas with this particular these 2 particular bundles. And if you need anything that I can help you with, make sure you let me know. Thanks so much. If I don't see you next week, I wish you a very warm and wonderful Christmas. I know some of you, at least a few of my viewers that I know personally, are going to have a rough Christmas this year. They've lost someone in their lives. It's very important. And Christmas can be melancholy, I realize, for a lot of people. And I think a lot of us, especially when we're older, we have some sad things about Christmas, but at the same time, it's such a joyful time. It's the birth of our Savior. I'm a Christian. I believe that Jesus came so that we could know him, and he died for our sins so that we could be forgiven and go to heaven. So I rejoice in the meaning of Christmas, and we will celebrate it. We will go to Colorado to be with part of my family for Christmas. I'm really looking forward to that. And I grew up in Denver, and I will be celebrating Christmas also with my high school friends. And yes, we've stayed friends all these years. I have friends that I'll be seeing in the next week that I've been my friend since I was in grade school. So I would have been probably 12 years old when a lot of these girls are my friends. So many, many years. I'm so anxious to see them. I hope you'll take care over the holidays, and I hope that you'll join me in January. I'll definitely be back the first part of January on Wednesdays at 12:30. And again, if I can help you with anything we did today or anything crafting in general, please don't hesitate to let me know. I'm here to help you. That's why I'm here. All right, friends, thanks so much, and take care, and Merry Christmas.